יום השישי, ויכל השמיים ותחת צלם אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה ויספוס ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי שבת וינקש מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים עשה יצרם ונן ועשה ברוך אתה אדינו אלינו מלך העולם בריא הגפן ברוך אתה אדינו אלינו מלך העולם אשר קדשנו וצף וציוונו ושבת קדשו ביעבר ורצון הנחילנו זכרו למעשה בראשית כי הוא יום תחילה מקרא קודש זכר יציאת מצרים כי באנו בחרת וישראל קדשנו מכל העמים ושבת קדשך ביעבר ורצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדינו מקדש השבת. ברוך אתה אדינו אלינו מלך העולם המוציא לחם מן הארץ. Alright, Shabbat Shalom everybody. So, I just made Kiddush and a motzi. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Well, wait a minute, Moshe, you didn't wash for a motzi. I did. I washed before Kiddush, before I did Kiddush. That's a German Jewish custom. Most other people, they do Kiddush and then they wash and then they do hamotzi. But the German Jews, they have a custom that they wash and they say the blessing, but they don't speak until they make Kiddush. And they make Kiddush, and then they make Motzi right after. See, if they would speak in between washing and saying the blessing, if they would speak like something vain, like just, hey, or whatever, they'd have to go wash again. But because they're doing it for the sake of the mitzvah, anything, if they speak and they say something for the sake of mitzvah, like the bracha, or they hear someone else say the blessing and they say amen, or amen in English, then that's fine. So that's the way I did it. That's why I didn't wash. No, most of you probably didn't even think about that, but whatever. Anyway, I really wanted to make a video, and I'm gonna make I'm working on, different quality, trying out different things. But I feel like I should put out at least one video a week, even if it's only like a 10-minute video. Like, I should put out something just to get into the habit of doing one every day. Because I know if I don't do that, I'll get lazy and I'll stop doing it altogether. And then I'll tell everybody, oh, I'm doing videos. And then they're like, when? So, anyway, enough of that introduction. For like 4 minutes, you're like, gee, yeah, thanks, Moshe, for 4 minutes of that crap. Anyway, but what I want to talk about, I'm not going to do like a whole big thought out thing right now. Because I'm not quite in that frame of mind, but I do want to talk about something, and I want to talk about the news in Israel, of course. And, recently we saw, the return of the very sad, the return of the Bibas family, the Shiri, Ariel, and Kfir. May their name be a blessing. May their name be a blessing. And it was horrible. It was really horrible. everything about it was horrible. There's no redeeming value in it, except maybe for the fact that now there's their father and the husband, Kfir Bibas, now gets a little bit of closure. At best. That's the best I can think to get out of this horrible, ugly, despicable situation. So what happened? Well, I mean, you already know, but I'll recap. Hamas finally handed over the bodies of the first set of bodies of dead hostages. Excuse me. And they handed over the bodies of baby Kfir Bibas, 9 months old, and they handed over the body of his older brother, 4 or 5 years old, Ariel. But despite their promise, they did not hand over the body of their mother, Shiri Bibas. Instead, just to mess with people and to screw with people's heads, they sent a dead Gazan woman, who they don't even know who she is, just some random dead Gazan corpse of some female, and they put that in the coffin and delivered that instead of Shiri. Now, some people might say, well, they made a mistake, maybe, but come on, you really think that was done unintentionally? That was done on purpose, to hurt the family more, because that's how sick the Palestinian cause is. Now, I want to make a very important correction for something I said in my last video that I'd like to change. I said in my last video that I still believed very much in the Palestinians' right to live peacefully with us in Israel alongside us, as long as they don't try to kill us and start wars and all that. Well, you know what? And I might get some flack for this from some people, but I don't really care. Because the truth is more important. And standing up for what's right is more important than standing up for what's popular. And I'm going to revoke that. And I'm now going to say that I've changed my position. And I do not believe that the Palestinians have any right whatsoever to live in Israel. And I don't want them there. And they have no right to be there. And they should go somewhere else. And if they don't like that, tough. Too bad. Don't care. Harsh? Perhaps. But you have to think about, these anti-Israel people, they always go, well, you gotta look at the context. What about the context? So, okay, fine. Let's look at the fucking context. Suicide bombings, beheaded babies, gang rape of toddlers to the point of death, cutting off the heads of Israeli soldiers, mutilating people, burning entire communities, invading homes and torturing people, torturing entire families, tying them up and torturing them for hours, physically and psychologically, only to end by burning them alive in their own homes. Rocket attacks. Every hour or every other hour having to run to a bomb shelter so you don't get blown to pieces by missiles. So you don't have bombs dropped on your homes, on your apartments, on your schools, on buses. Invading communities. Even before October 7th. I don't know if anybody remembers, but the community of Itamar, it was a Jewish settlement in the West Bank, or West Bank, actually called Judea and Samaria. I don't care. You know what? I don't care. I don't care about the international community's opinion anymore about this. I used to sort of care a little bit. Then I cared a lot. Then I cared a little bit less. Now I barely care at all. Actually, I don't care at all anymore. Because I'm just so fed up. I was going to say... And think about how crazy this all is. Israel has released all these Palestinians in exchange for the hostages. Both dead and living hostages. I just want people to see the context. Because everybody loves the context. You gotta look at the context. So fine, we'll look at the context, Karen. We'll look at the context, Jihad, Karen. Let's look at the context. Hamas hands over 3 coffins. Inside the coffins are the dead bodies of Shiri Bibas and her 2 young boys, Ariel and Ariel, 4 or 5 years old. And then, of course, the youngest, most vulnerable, most defenseless member of the family, Kfir Bibas, who was only 9 months old when he was murdered. There's a disgusting and despicable video on an equally disgusting and despicable anti-Semitic, anti-Israel channel called Bad Empanada, which is a stupid fucking name, by this, I'm not really sure what this dude's deal is. I don't know if he's definitely some sort of, like, Arab ethnicity. He's definitely ethnically some sort of Arab origin. And he has this channel, and he just did this whole video called, about Shiri and Ariel and Kfir by the Bibas family, and it says in big, ugly, disgusting lying letters, "Killed by Israel." And of course, them, along with all the other anti-Israel, pro-jihadi, pro-killing Jews, pro-grape, pro-baby beheading, pro-burning families alive, crowd is, that crowd is using, is running on the story of, well, no, Israel killed them because they died in a bombing raid by Israel. And, yeah, so Israel is really guilty really the ones to blame for killing them, for them being dead. Right. Israel is the one for killing them for being dead. Not the bloodthirsty terrorists who against every measure of international law, invaded a sovereign nation and killed over 1,200 innocent people, men, women, and children in some of the most barbaric and horrific ways, creating the largest mass orgy of chaos, death, and murder against Jewish people since the end of the Holocaust. No. We don't blame them. No, we're going to blame Israel, the country. And, I wonder what the context was. What was the context behind that bombing? Oh, yeah, the brutal invasion and mass murder of innocent people, followed by the continuous, endless barrage of rockets being fired into Israel, both in the north and the south, from Israel's enemies. How about a 7-front war? How about a 7-front war closing in from all sides, west, east, north, and south, against Israel, and Israel was successfully repelling them and protecting their border and defending their citizens? That good enough context for you, Bad Empanada? You anti-Semitic piece of fucking garbage? You lying, disgusting, Jew-hating, racist, vile scumbag, pro-jihadi, pro-genocide, stupid asshole, bastard, motherfucker, scumbag. You fucking piece of garbage. And that goes not just to you, but to all of the pro-jihadi, pro-Palestine motherfuckers out there. If you're pro-Palestine, fuck you. I know that's going to get me so much anger. But fuck pro-Palestine. Fuck them. I'm done. I'm done pretending. I'm done pretending that these people have any right to share the land or to live in the land with us after we've done everything for them. We have gone above and beyond and bent over backwards to do things for them. We've sacrificed our own soldiers to protect their civilians for years. We've been doing that for decades. We've sent aid. Despite the lies of the UN, Israel has sent more aid into Gaza since October 7th than they have in all of the times prior combined. And then they lie and say that we're starving them and that there's a genocide. Bullshit. Bullshit. And every day, every fucking day, I'm sorry for the language, but this really pisses me off. Every goddamn day, we're seeing the genocide lie unravel. What did Hamas do when they returned the Bibas family to us, to Israel? What'd they do? They got up on stage, they handed out candy, they sang songs, they played Arabic wedding music, and they cheered, and they smiled, and they rejoiced, and they celebrated. They celebrated their murder of babies. They celebrated that their evil terrorist monsters took their hands, wrapped them around little baby Kfir's throat and choked him and looked him in the eyes as the little tiny precious soul, as the light left his eyes and the little tiny precious soul left his little body, and those monsters did it, and they watched and they looked directly into his eyes as they slaughtered him and his 4-year-old older brother and their mother Shiri, who I don't know, but I'm very willing to bet her body was probably defiled and assaulted. If she was not violated and assaulted as well, or either instead of or in addition to before she was dead. Because that's what these sick fucks do. They murder children. They grape women, murder their children with their bare hands, looking into their eyes, watching, and probably smiling with glee as they're watching their little soul leave their body as they slaughter them. And then they murder their mother, and then on top of all of that, violate and abuse her dead body. And then after all of that, they go out and they give out candy and they sing songs and they smile and they jump around and their kids celebrate and they sing. Yay! They murdered a 9-month-old baby. Hooray! They slaughtered a precious little 4-year-old boy. Hooray! They violated and then murdered and then violated again the mother of those children, an innocent woman who had done nothing to them whatsoever. Yay! Woo! Yeah! Liberation! Woo! Resistance, right? Intifada! Globalize the Intifada! You know, I have to admit, I do get very sensitive and cry at things, but generally in the news, even really, 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 really awful stuff in the news, generally doesn't make me cry, like actual shedding tears. I might feel really bummed out and kind of need to just sit and just take shit in once in a while, but very rarely do I actually, like, cry, like, like that. Like, there's crying, there's like, and then there's like from the heart, you know, real emotional crying. I usually don't get to that level with stuff in the news, but with this maybe even, and I feel sort of heartless for saying this, but this might be the first time I've ever cried like that, like hard, like heaving, like body moving, like intense tears over something in the news before. In the past, when really awful, horrible, terrible things have happened, in the news. I've I've been sad, of course, and very angry, but I haven't really like cried like sobbing hard like that over anything before. Partly a lot of the because of his, a lot of the things that happened, for example, like 9/11, happened when I was much younger and not quite as mature. And I was still developing and learning how to respond and regulate my emotions and all that. And to express my emotions appropriately and maturely, which I still don't do very well. I've gotten better, but I still suck at it. But with this, with the Bibas thing, I was. Sorry, I'm gonna blow my nose. With the Bibas family, with their story, I was praying every day for them. I was hoping against all hope. Every single day, every single day when I'd pray, I would think, I wonder how Shiri, Ariel, and Kfir are doing. I wonder how Yardain, their father, and Shiri's husband, how they're doing. I hope they're okay. I don't even want to think about what those monsters are probably doing to them. I mean, just thinking about poor little baby Kfir in a dirty, dingy, musty, dusty old dark tunnel underground, surrounded by these beasts and monsters, child murderers, terrorists, some of the worst scum on earth. People go, well, Israel killed them, which I'm going to address that in just a second. Even if they did die in an Israeli bombing, which we know they didn't, but if they had, that would still not be Israel's fault. Because why was Israel bombing in the first place? Israel wouldn't need to bomb if they had to kidnap them. People are just so quick to forget. Stupid. People are stupid. It's like I saw this one Saturday Night Live skit, and this woman was like overreacting because she found out that the dog food that they've been giving their dog was like not like the super fancy one, and they're like, this is better, and the old one's actually not good for your dog. And she gets all angry and over the top, and she's like, people are liars and losers. Yeah, they are. I second that. I agree with her. People are liars and losers. I hate most people, to be honest. Not hate like, oh, I fucking hope they're dead. No, but like, I get pissed at people all the time, and people drive me nuts with what people do. It makes me crazy. But I want to say more about the with everything that's happening. So the Bibas family, the autopsy determined that what had happened to them was that they had been killed probably not long after they got to Gaza. So probably on October 8th. So they'd probably been dead for over a year at that point. But we now know what they did was that they strangled them to death with their bare hands. Then they took rocks and they mutilated their bodies with rocks on purpose to try and fool the world and make people think that they died in an Israeli bombardment, which Bad empanada, that's disgusting anti-Semitic piece of shit fucking scumbag. He did point out something, which at first glance does seem to be a bit odd. Why would Hamas do this? Hamas already knows that Israel has some of the world's best scientists, forensics experts, all that. They know that Israel would be able to very easily find out that they died from strangulation and not from bombardment. So why would they even try? What was even the point? If they, I mean, Hamas, they're not stupid. They're evil. They're evil and they're disgusting, despicable monsters and they should go back into the deepest pits of hell where they belong for all eternity. But they're not dumb. They're smart. Hamas and the Arabs, don't underestimate them. Don't call them stupid. They're smart fuckers. Yeah, I will say that. Arabs are all the good ones, the good guys and the terrorists, the bad guys, all of them, they're smart motherfuckers. They are. The problem is they don't have unity or discipline. That's the issue. Because they all hate each other. The only thing they can all unite on and agree on is how much they all hate the Jews. The bad ones, I'm saying, the bad Arabs. The bad Arabs all hate each other. Sunnis hate Shias, this hates that, Iraqi, Iranian, even with it, oh, you're from that version of Shia, and we're from this version of Shia, we hate you. It's nuts. But no, they're not stupid, so why would they do something like that? I'll tell you why. To humiliate and degrade. That's why. To just continue to further disrespect these people, to continue to further dig the knife and twist a little bit more, to cause as much pain as possible, because that's how sick that is what the pro-Palestine movement's game plan is. It's to kick them when they're down, stab them, get them down, kick them when they're down, spit on them, and then as they try to struggle to get up, look at them, point, and go, it's your fault. Imagine if a guy walked up to some dude on the street, just let's say I don't know, like a severely mentally, like a neurodivergent, severely mentally disabled man, right? Someone who's, let's say 30, but has the mind of an 8-year-old, right? Or a 4-year-old, right? Okay, let's say some guy walked up to him, punches him in the face, a non-disabled guy, just a regular dude, non-neurodivergent dude, just walking down the street, not a gangbanger, just some dude, right? Walks up to him, stabs the guy, punches him in the face, spits on him, and then pisses and takes a shit on him. And then, as the guy is struggling to stand up and he's injured, he's covered in filth, looking at him and going, you see what he did? You see what he did to me? That was justified. Of course, people are going to go, well, it was justified. You're not talking about the Nakba and the this and the that and the this, and West Bank in 1967 and it's Yom Kippur War and Oslo and blah, 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 blah. I don't need to talk about any of that stuff because we already know. Everyone that cares already knows. And at this point, I think it's very clear that there's never going to be a peaceful Palestinian state alongside a Jewish state. It's just not going to happen. We've tried. We've offered it to them. We've given them so much in deals that other people were like, what are you, is Israel insane? Well, why? You can't give that much. You can't do that. You can't help those people. You can't do that. That's crazy. But Israel's like, no, we're going to do it. For example, pulling out of the Gaza Strip, in 2005. I'm not going to go, I've already talked about that ad nauseum, so I'm not going to go over that again, but it's just, I just don't see how anybody could understand and view what happened to the Bibas family. Let me put it this way. Can you put yourself mentally, can you imagine what it must mean and what it must feel like to have your entire family, your wife, and both of your only children murdered, to have your entire family murdered in cold blood for no reason, and then to be told, well, all forms of resistance are justified. If you're one of those people that's, well, all forms of justice, all forms of, not justice, all forms of resistance are justified. If you are somebody that believes all forms of justice or all forms of resistance are justified, you go to Kfir Bibas and look him in the eyes, and you tell him that his precious baby, Kfir, his precious son, Ariel, 9 months old, Kfir, 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old, Ariel, and his beautiful, sweet, precious wife, Shiri, who he said during the memorial, during the I think it's called the Avela, or the Haskama, I think, the eulogy he gave at their funeral, and he said he remembers when he first, because they're Argentinian Jews, they're from Argentina, originally, and he said that the first time he ever said "mi amor," my love, to Shiri, she said to Kfir, she said, "Don't say "mi amor" to me unless you absolutely mean it. Don't call me "mi amor," don't call me my love, unless you really, really, truly mean it." And he shared with us, he said in that moment, even then, even though it was a while before he proposed and everything still, even then in that moment, he already knew. He said, "I already knew that you were mi amor, that you were my love." And then he said, Ariel came into his life, and he said overnight, he said he became a man, he became a father, just like that with the birth of Ariel. And they were so happy, and they loved each other so much. And he said, I didn't think our family could get any more beautiful and any more perfect. And then we had sweet little Kfir. Baby Kfir was born. And baby Kfir was born. And I couldn't believe it was possible for my perfect family. Sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to cry on camera really, because I'm afraid people will watch it and think I'm doing it for show or performance. Fine, think that if you want, you heartless bastards. That's what people want to judge and think that. That's fine. I know my heart. I know I'm being sincere. I know I'm not putting on a show for you. But he said, I didn't think our beautiful little family could get even more perfect, and then Kfir was born, and it did. And now they're gone. The Bibas home was once a home. It's still a house. Actually, I'm not sure if they live in a house or an apartment. It's still a house, it's still an apartment. But a home, it is no more. It is now a cold and empty prison, if you will. Or a cold and empty monument to 3 beautiful, precious lives lost for no reason. for no reason whatsoever. Senseless, heartless, bestial, demonic. Ariel was just a sweet little boy who loved Batman. I loved Batman. Who doesn't love Batman? I grew up with superheroes, Batman, Superman, all of them. I love Batman. I used to have, like, all the Batman movies. Batman Returns, the good ones, all the good ones. And, I used to watch the old Batman on TV, the old 1960s one, where, like, everything was so goofy, and all the, it was live action, but all the characters were so cartoonishly, like, their behavior. Like, they'd be like, see, Batman, we're gonna take over Gotham City, you know. And then, you know, pow! It'd say pow on the screen. Bam! Bam! You know, if you know, you know. Ariel he was a sweet little boy who loved Batman. And his little baby brother, Kfir, was just a sweet little baby with a beautiful little smile, who just wanted to roll around and just giggle on the floor and play with his Abba, play with his dad. And there's a video of Yardane giving him little raspberries on his little belly, and little Bibas just cracking up the purest little, the sweetest little laugh, and the most beautiful, pure little smile on his face. He was just a little baby that just wanted to be loved and be held and snuggle his little pink elephant. Ariel just wanted to be a sweet little boy, run around and pretend to be Batman, pretend to be his hero. Well, Kfir, Ariel, and Shiri, if you're up in heaven and you're listening, I know you don't know me and you never met me in your lives, but I want you to know that I will never forget you. I will never ever forget you. I will always, forever, hold you in my heart, as all of Am Yisrael and every Jewish person who loves our people and our homeland and our culture and our families and friends and all of that will also never forget you. And we will always, I promise you, we will always hold you in our hearts, and we will never, ever forget you. May your memories be a blessing, and may we see the end of hate, terrorism, cruelty, and violence, and see the coming of love, peace, unity, reconciliation, and, well, you know what? No, not reconciliation. That word doesn't really apply here. I want to say something. There's this one dude who I really don't like on YouTube. I think I've mentioned him before. He's this Palestinian dude, and he's like gay. He's like super, super gay, and he's openly very proud, to be gay, which is really interesting, because if he was in Gaza and he was openly proud to be gay, he wouldn't last more than 5 seconds before somebody would throw him off of a roof, tie his hands behind his back and throw him off a roof to his death, because that's the way they treat gay people in Gaza. And yet all these idiots don't want to come out and call themselves queers for Palestine, which Prime Minister Netanyahu, who I'm not the biggest fan of, rightfully said is no different than calling yourselves chickens for KFC, but I digress. We must carry on. Oh, that's what it was. So this guy, one of the things he talks about constantly is, the Palestinian people are just so resilient. They knock us down over and over and over. Like, he talked about when Sinwar died, and he went, they said that all the Hamas leaders are living somewhere in Qatar off of billions. Well, now we see that was a lie, because he was there. And did you see he wasn't hiding? He was standing and fighting right there with his men for his people. And even in his last moments, he threw a piece of wood to valiantly, with every last a bit of his life blood left, to fight for his freedom, for his people. And then he said, I think it was either before that or right after that, he goes, Israel wants us to see this man as a monster and a terrorist. This man is a novelist. He wrote novels when he was in prison. So, okay. So because he wrote novels, that means he can't be a terrorist? What? The unbelievable stupidity. But I don't need to reiterate all of that. And this video's already gotten actually pretty good runtime, but I want to end. I want to go eat. But I just wanted to, make that statement and say something, because I've been holding this in and I really wanted to get it out. So thank you. I'm going to go and relax and try and enjoy Shabbat and not think about these sad things, at least put it on hold, because you're not supposed to think about sad things on Shabbat. But to cheer everybody up, I just want to say I'm very happy to see that we have essentially basically beat Hamas at this point. We don't have all the hostages back, but we're getting them back every day, more and more. And I just pray that all of this ends soon, but ends not soon, and then happen again later. I mean, all of it. I hope this all ends permanently very soon, ASAP, which we all do, of course. That's about it. I do want to talk about the whole thing, that video that Trump put out, Gaza Trump Gaza. I thought that was hilarious. At first, I thought it was just a silly satire, but no, he put that out. I doubt that he made it. Someone else probably made it, but he put it out on his real account. That shit's so funny. He's trolling the Gazans. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Trump Gaza #1. Trump Gaza #1. Have no fear, Trump Gaza is finally here. It's stupid, it's absurd, it's obviously not going to happen. But it's very amusing to me. It's very amusing. Anyway, maybe that'll at least be part of the subject of my next video. Anyway, I'm getting hungry, so I gotta go. Love you all. Good Shabbos, and we'll talk again soon. Bye!